Hello everyone and welcome back to the Adventures in Collecting YouTube channel, where we take a closer look at the toys we talk about on the show. And today we are going to take a look at two of the Snake Eyes film figures, courtesy of our friends at Hasbro for sending these over for us to take a look at. We are going to take a look at the Baroness and Storm Shadow. So real quick tour of the packaging, as always with the G.I. Joe classified figures. Amazing art. Unique art to each package. These all have the same backs, so they have really cool Snake Eyes packaging there, but you can see the amazing art there of the Baroness and of Storm Shadow. I have not gotten a chance to see these films. I'm just recovering from a little bit of a head cold, so I'm hoping that this coming weekend I can get a chance to see them in the film. But I wanted to give you guys a quick look at the figures. So let's pull these into the light box and let's take a closer look. All right, and here we are. Here we have the Baroness and we have Storm Shadow out of the package. Let's take a quick tour of these figures. First of all, first impressions, they look fantastic. I was immediately able to piece them together, strike a pose very easily. First of all, we have great likenesses both of Ursula Cordero and of Andrew Koji. And speaking of Andrew Koji, he comes with an additional head sculpt here, and as you can see, it is striking. Hasbro has really kind of perfected the business of getting these lifelike sculpts and paint apps. They really have come a long way. So the detail across his hair, the different kind of layering of the length of his short haircut, his scarring, his facial features, all there. Paint is tight, looks fantastic. So other accessories that come with Storm Shadow, we'll start with him since we were talking about Andrew Koji first. Again, just kind of brief tour here. Great deco. I think some people are going to get hung up on the bone white as opposed to the kind of the pure white that we're used to seeing in Storm Shadow. But let me tell you, this figure looks great in hand, and I feel like the kind of off-white bone white look errs on the side of maybe a more traditional speaking in terms of like martial arts and ninja look. But there is great deco all over this figure. As far as I can tell, there is no reuse. This is all new. We have a softer plastic skirt here. We have, you can see that the wrinkles and details in his pants. It is kind of light on paint, I will say that. The only paint hits on the figure outside of the bone white. His fingers are flesh colored, as well as his eyes and face throughout his the cutaway and his ninja mask, and then there are these silver paint hits, just kind of detailing the figure. The katanas, the dual katanas, are both decoed wonderfully. They have the nice little patterning in them, the wrap, the guard, all of the pieces of the katana are painted really well. They port into his back piece very easily. They don't really fall out. They're not going anywhere. They're not falling out. There is one direction that they want to go more than the other, so just kind of test and kind of figure that out on your own. In terms of articulation, there is great articulation on this figure. We do have the kind of the standard G.I. Joe articulation, so he does have the butterfly joints. What I will say about the butterfly joints, because of the sculpting on his shoulder piece here, what you want to do is you want to find the wide part of the butterfly joint before you try to extend it back, just to get as much articulation out of it as you can. Again, the deco and the sculpt continue into the butterfly joint as to not break up the look of the costuming, which is great. We do get a nice hidden bicep swivel here that works really well. Double jointed elbows that move, far past that 90-degree mark, and then we do get our swivel and pivot at the hands, which is fantastic. In terms of head articulation, we're looking down about that much. We're looking up about that much, which is, again, he does have a collar here that's sculpted in that does hinder a little bit of the movement. He is able to bend significantly forward, and then of course with his swords in, he's going to be hindered in his back movement, but with the swords out, he can absolutely bend back very easily. I'm just gonna leave these out for a minute. In terms of leg articulation, he does have what we've seen so far in the G.I. Joe figure. He has those drop down hips, so he can kick all the way out and he can kick all the way back. There are some clever cuts in his skirt that allow him to, you know, get the full splits. He does have the upper thigh swivel, and he has double jointed knees, so then he can kick all the way back. And then he has your standard pivot and swivel at the ankles. Those nice rockers. Gotta love the ankle rockers. So let's move on to the Baroness. All right. So again, really great likeness here of Ursula Cordero. The accessories, you can see them all on her here. So we have two cobra daggers that port very nicely into the holsters here in her back, or the sheaths in her back. Again, really nice deco on the daggers. Really great cobra head on them. You know, nice paint and detail on the blades. The other accessory she has here is she's wearing it on her face is her glasses. What's really nice about her glasses here is the fact that they tuck behind her hair. So when you have them off, obviously you can see her face and her detail very well. And when you have them on, since they do tuck behind her hair, they stay in place. So even though they are a little accessory, you know, it's well thought out about how they work. Her firearm here is amazing. We have a really great automatic weapon here that has some really great detail on it, including a little bit of a paint hit, brownish green paint hit on the handle here. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but you know, hopefully the pictures pick it up. And then we do have a removable silencer as well. So the muzzle does have a hole in it. We're going to see during photography if we can get some effects to fit in there. Going throughout the figure, this figure has amazing movement. She has really great butterfly joints that allow her arms to go insanely far back. I mean, that's great. And we do have single jointed elbows. We don't have the Lady J double jointed elbows on this figure. Hopefully, you know, it's just because these figures are a little bit on the older side, you know, that the movie was supposed to come out significantly long ago. So hopefully going forward, we're not moving backwards to the single jointed elbows, because the double jointed elbows are amazing. And then we do have our swivel and pivot at the wrists. She does have upper diaphragm articulation, but it's really not a whole lot. So you're getting a little bit of a twist out of it, very subtle movement. And in terms of her ab crunch, there really isn't one. So she can crunch backwards about that far, which is not a whole lot, and then you know, forward about that much. So you're not really getting an ab crunch out of her. That's probably going to disappoint some. We'll see when we start posing her and taking pictures what ultimately what we can do with her pose wise, or how that affects her posing. Oh, I forgot her head. So she can look down about that far, and she can look up about that far. Her legs, again, we have the same drop down hips, so you know, you get a little bit of extra oomph from them. We do have an upper thigh swivel. We have the double jointed knee, and again, these small joints, these small pinless joints. So I didn't call that out on Storm Shadow, because Storm Shadow has pinned joints, but Baroness here has pinless joints, and they don't feel gummy at all. So that's always good. Love when they act like they're supposed to. Then we have a calf swivel there, and then we have you know, our rocker and swivel at the ankles. So let's do some quick height comparisons here with some other relevant G.I. Joe figures, right? Okay, so here we have 2 out of our 5 G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes figures. Of course, we have Akiko, a new character to the canon, and then we have Scarlet as well, but you know, we do have Snake Eyes, and as you can see, they look fantastic together. There's a lot of like good consistency, as you can see, like throughout the characters. I think there's a lot of homage being paid to their history, but also, you know, a refresh. So that's always nice. So let's take Snake Eyes out here. Let's do one more comparison. Just something that I feel like is relevant with these two characters and kind of the feel of the film, from what we can see from the trailers at least. Here he is with the Red Ninja. Of course, these figures all scale together because of kind of the semi-real look of the G.I. Joe classified line in general. These figures fit in seamlessly. With that, let's turn it around and let's wrap it up. So yeah, what'd you guys think? Let us know below. But as you can tell, you know, I think these are two more impressive releases in the G.I. Joe Classified line. A fun subline for the film. I think like you saw the likenesses of Ursula and the likenesses of Andrew here, who play the characters in the film, I think is spot on. I love the accessories, I love the design, the deco. So big thanks again to our friends at Hasbro for sending these out for us to take a look at. It's amazing to get a chance to take a look at the products before we get a chance to see it in film. Thank you for the opportunity. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there so that way you don't miss videos like this where we take those deeper dives into the toys that we love. While you're down there, hit that notification bell so that way you get notifications when we post new videos, which, by the way, we try to do at least one a week, sometimes more. While you're liking and subscribing to things, make sure you follow us here at AIC_podcast on Instagram and Twitter, where we're constantly posting toy news, toy photography, toy availability, sneak peeks, anything that we get a chance to share with the community and help out. And then, of course, the podcast. So the Adventures in Collecting podcast, you can find us wherever you find podcasts. Simply search for Adventures in Collecting. We are constantly looking for new guests, people from the toy industry, designers, marketers, to come on and talk about the craft, share their passion, and give us an inside look into the toy making process. Stick around after the fade for some additional photos here of the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes film figures. And as always, until next time.